Good evening and welcome in to Virtual Wonder Reimagine Learning with MDIS. Next up in this segment, we will hear more perspectives from a group of students who are currently pursuing their field of study as well as learn more from our two alumni. I now invite Mr. Pranav, our moderator for this segment, to take us through this interesting discussion.
Okay. Hello everyone, this is Pranav and I have with me Mr. Francis Yu. He is the Vice President of the Corporate and Consumer Business at the Hong Leong Finance Limited. He has pursued his Bachelor of Science in Management Studies, specializing in marketing from the University of Bradford here at MDIS. Mr. Francis, welcome back.
Thank you.
So tell me, how many years has it been since you graduated from here?
Well, I graduated back in 2004.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been quite a long time.
So what brings you back here now?
Well, I mean, I was approached. I understand that you guys have this virtual open house to share about my experience previously when I was a student, and I actually benefited previously from my time here in MDIS, and I'll be happy to share with the students here also.
Can you share more details about your experience here? It must have been quite the experience that you remember after so long also, and that it has now brought you back here.
Well, it was quite an enjoyable experience for me. The 4 years, basically, it was really I would say a life-changing experience, because through the whole program, it actually opened up my eyes to a lot of things, which I believe the working world may not possibly be able to share all of it. So through my program, through the time I spent in the program, it helps me to be more analytical in my thinking, and I think it actually helped me a lot. More doors are actually open for me in my career as well. So therefore, it's definitely a good experience to come.
Can you shed a bit more light on some of the life-changing experience you had, some of which, as you said, it cannot be gleaned from the corporate world, can only be understood by being a student?
Well, because for myself, I actually took up the program on a part-time basis. So basically, I had actually had the benefit of learning and working at the same time. So basically, when I took up the program, because mine was actually a business management program, so for the business skills that I've actually acquired through the program, it actually benefited me a lot. Especially in my current job or even my current career, which is in the banking industry. And of course, the interaction with my peers, it also helped a lot as well, because it's not just my own thoughts, but also through the sharing with from the tutors, from the lecturers, from the classmates as well. So a lot of interaction, a lot of sharing. So, and because some of them are, they are also from different industry as well. So we actually have the benefit of learning from each other.
Interesting. So as you said, you did a part-time course, right? You were working and also doing the course at the same time.
That's right.
So was it quite hectic, or was it the syllabus here designed in such a way that even somebody who's working can also focus on his work while at the same time do well in school also?
That's a good question, because well, I would think the studying and working at the same time does have its benefits also, even though it can be quite stressful. Well, I still remember that 4 years when I was taking out the program. Basically, it's like three lessons per week. Okay. So we got to come in after work, and we also had to sometimes we had to burn on weekends as well. So it definitely wasn't easy, but I would think the experience is actually very beneficial, because I think between learning on a part-time basis versus on a full-time basis, there is a difference. Because if you're on a full-time basis, no doubt you have more time to study, but then again, you may not have the practical experience that you can actually apply what you have learned in your course of work. So even though it was a bit tiring, that 4 years, I think I probably ate a lot of McDonald's to last me for a while. Yeah, but throughout the program, I think I benefited by being able to apply whatever I learned into my work, and vice versa as well.
Interesting experience. I don't think quite a lot of people would have this simultaneous experience. So in that way, I want to ask, like, what is the, as you said, there's a lot of practical, theory you learn in college, which you can only learn by applying in while working.
That's right.
But is it quite straightforward, like when, say, somebody who's doing a full-time course, when they graduate, is it easier to apply what they learned, or are there still quite a few hurdles to face?
I think it's about the important thing is to keep an open mind, to be adaptable, right. because especially in this in the current day and age, there's a lot of things which are maybe beyond our control. So it's good to be flexible when it comes to handling matters, and of course also applying whatever we have learned, because in theory is good, right?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but sometimes in the real world it may not work out that way. Yeah, so it's like I said, it's good that you are able to apply to test out whatever you learn into in your job, but at the same time that some of the lessons that you learn in the working world, you can also, it helps you to be a better learner. Yeah.
For those who are doing full time, would you say that internships are a good way for them to get exposure to the working world and also see how they can apply what they have learned?
Of course, of course. I think it's always good to, like I said, it's always good to apply whatever, have the opportunity to apply whatever you have studied for. Internship is a good way, especially when you are coming out to the working world, and a lot of employers may be looking at some experience as well. So having the internship experience, it definitely benefits the student. Yeah.
So speaking of internships, and as you're a vice president also, I'm sure you would be involved in recruiting not just interns but even other people for more permanent positions.
For my role, I may not be doing recruiting, but then again, I also understand that after many years of working, that as an employer, there are certain things that they may be looking out for when they're doing their recruitment. Like maybe, I think personally, I would think that it's important, probably in terms of the most important thing would probably be in terms of the attitude-wise. If let's say the attitude of the applicant is good, is always keeping an open mind to learn, be teachable, then it always benefits the organization also. Because if let's say, the applicant comes in and they are willing to be adaptable and to always have the eagerness to pick up new skills, then it will actually benefit the organization and also the applicants themselves also.
So from what you say, it seems like learning is a lifelong process. It's not something, after 4 years of school, you're done with learning, so now it's just working. It's something that you continuously do throughout.
Of course. For myself, I am a lifelong learner. In fact, after so many years in the working world, I'm constantly learning. Like last year during the circuit breaker, I took up online classes, this fintech program by Oxford University. I also took up technology entrepreneurship by Harvard X as well. And then I also took up digital marketing courses from Google. Yeah. So, and the recent one I just took up digital banking by SMU.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it's always good to be constantly learning, because technology changes, things change all the time. So, you need to keep an open mind, be constantly willing to learn. That way you will not fall behind.
Yeah. Interesting. Looks like even all this time you've been still picking up skills, and also, like you said, be open-minded and adaptable. That's quite the important.
That's right.
And similarly, as you have also done quite a few courses, would you like recommend other people also do something like take up courses or do a master's, especially in these times when it's like fast changing and the world is more uncertain?
Yes, I definitely will recommend that because I mean having more knowledge is definitely it's not a bad thing. So if there's a good opportunity for you to advance, you know, in terms of let's say taking a master's program or PhD or whichever, then I think it's always good. But more importantly is that you must be able to apply whatever that you have learned also. Yeah.
See, so not just be able to learn and be adapt, but also be able to apply whatever you learned in
That's
your
right.
job.
That's
Okay.
right.
So being, like you said, one of the things being able to learn is doing internships. But is there something other than internship that somebody can do on their own personal capacity to say, be able to like understand more and apply what they have learned?
I believe right now with the internet, there are a lot of such opportunities. I mean, what they call side hustles, right?
Side hustles.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, things like Fiverr, I think.
Fiverr.
Yeah, you know, so that you always have the opportunity to. It could be simple things like coding.
Coding.
Or could be things like maybe designing a website, you know, or maybe some photography opportunity, whatever is your own skill set.
Yeah.
Then have the look out for opportunity to showcase that. Yeah. Because sometimes internships also may or may not be available, but it shouldn't stop you from making your own opportunity.
Yeah, so with the internet, we have limitless opportunities to learn by ourselves.
That's right.
Similarly, would you recommend someone to say go for more breadth in their skills versus like more depth in their skills?
I think it's two different school of thoughts here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, on one school of thought will be maybe in terms of to be a generalist, you know, as I say, jack of all trades, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but on the other hand, some people will feel that it's better to be a specialist in something. They are not wrong. Both are not wrong. Yeah. So it really depends. But I would think that in recent times, is if possible, maybe be good at multiple things. Yeah. So that will also help, you know, to put you maybe when compared to, let's say, other applicants for the same job, then that will give you an advantage also.
Okay. And when you're working, you can have quite the busy life, including work and other stuff. So how much time or do you set aside for learning every week, and all, how do you make time for that so that you can constantly keep upgrading yourself?
I think this is something quite personal to different people. But I think as long as you have the desire to learn, it's up to the individual to make their own time. Yeah, because some people may have more time on a weekday evenings.
Yeah.
Some people maybe have more time on a weekend. So it really depends on depending on the lifestyle, you know. So, but ultimately, if the person has actually a desire to learn, they should be able to make some time for themselves. Yeah.
Okay, see. And you definitely recommend the new MOOCs like Khan Academy, Coursera for people to learn from and all?
I would think so, because I mean, previously my time we don't have such opportunities, right? Yeah. So now there are such opportunities, and a lot of these programs are actually free of charge. So why shouldn't you take advantage of those programs? Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you put in the effort, I'm sure you actually reap the rewards as well.
Interesting. Now, I would say to wrap it up, now I believe I want to request you to use your power, the power of hindsight now that you have graduated. So now that you look back and you see what you have done, what is one piece of advice or one thing that you would tell people who are watching right now, something that you wish you knew, something, that they should keep in mind while they're starting college?
Well, I mean, as they say, hindsight is 2020, right? So that was last year. Yeah. So if I were to look back now and maybe say, or rather, an advice I would give to myself, or rather to myself who is maybe 10 or 20 years younger, I would say that never give up and continue working hard, because whatever that you have, your own desires, as long as you're willing to put in the effort, you will actually reap the rewards also.
Yes, to never give up, to be adaptable, open-minded,
Yes.
and to constantly learn.
Correct. Because, I mean, especially right now with the COVID-19 challenge, the pandemic, and the economic recession and all, it's even more important that you have to be resilient and not to be, you have to stay positive. As long as you are determined enough, whatever you want to achieve, ultimately, it will come to pass.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Francis. I think there's quite a few things to unpack from your thoughts, and especially as somebody who's more experienced, you're definitely somebody I think everybody can look up to for understanding how to navigate in this new normal.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm also learning as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Mr. Francis.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. Now, after the alumni sharing session, we now have 4 students here to share their experience at MDIS. Here we have Mr. Ajay.
Hello.
He's in the final years of the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology from the School of Life Sciences. And here we have Ms. Norishka, who's also in the final year from the same School of School of Life Sciences and doing her biomedical science. And here we have Ms. Cynthia.
Hi.
She's in the final year of her Bachelor of Arts, doing the Media, Culture and Communications from the School of Media and Communications. And here we have Mr. Wool Infun. You did the 16-month O-level prep course here from MDIS College. So it looks like you're all at the end of your bachelor's. It looks like it has actually been like 4 years which has just flown by. So anyway, Ajay, what would you say in a few words, like what was your experience here like?
My experience, I would say, was academically was very enriching. Our lecturers, our professors who are in charge, they sometimes do go out of way to really teach us or really tell us about industrial applications of what we're learning. So it's not just about attend a lecture, learn about the things, it's more about how these things are applied in real life, and that's something that's very useful for us because it gives us an opportunity to plan what we like to do or an area that we would like to take up as a career option in the future. So that's really nice. And otherwise, yeah, I've made a lot of friends going along, both local and international friends, and it was I would say it helped me improve myself, and I think I've learned a lot during the last 3 years of my course. So yeah, it was a very enriching experience for me.
Thank you, Ajay. Cynthia, would you like to add on to him? How was your experience? You're in a different school.
So yeah, at beginning I was so afraid to come to Singapore because first my English skills is not that good, and I'm not a vocal person. But then when I entered the schools, I found that MDIS has a lot of interest groups like badminton clubs, angel hearts clubs. Then through the clubs, I can know a lot of people from other countries, and it's helped me a lot. Yeah.
And Mr. Lin Kun, you have done a different course here, the O-level course compared to the Bachelor of Science of others. What was your experience like with this one? Yes, this is a very short 16-month course. What was your classmates like? What did you learn?
I'm studying at O level now. Before that, I was start in language class.
Okay.
The in most learning all more field. All my field is very good, and there are many activity. It's very interesting, such as watch movie. I like to start here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Miss Norishka, how would you, like, you're also from the same school as
Yeah.
Ajay, so what was yours like?
I think for me, like I share the same sentiment with Cynthia. I'm like an international student, so yes, it was very intimidating coming into Singapore, not knowing anyone, and like starting from scratch to like build your social circle and living this whole independent life away from home. I think MDIS was for me. I feel the teaching staff and everyone is so supportive and so encouraging that I didn't really feel scared. Like it was easier for me to take certain steps and get involved in. There are a lot of like extracurricular activities, and even our School of Life Sciences, we have a club, and we also have like the student ambassador program that actually helps us get involved in the working of like the back end working of MDIS, which so you're really meeting people and socializing. And for me, apart from like studies, which of course we are here to do, I think that helped me give me like a very rounded experience. Yeah.
So you come from India, you come from Indonesia, and you come from China, and you're Singaporean. So what was it like to be in such a diverse cohort? I'm sure there have been other nationalities also. So being in a class with, say, where each person is from different nations, what was the experience like? Say, Florence, would you like to add?
Actually, it's interesting because I can learn people's culture from other countries, and also it can increase my English language. So yeah, it's interesting.
And you're from China, so and you said you had to take more language classes and all to here. So, and this is something which MDIS helped you to better understand this, how to fit in better. So, and was your cohort also equally diverse with many nationalities? Your friends and all, were they?
Yeah, or
Did you make friends from different nationalities, etc. in your various such as language class and other activities?
we we go to coaching. We go to play basketball, swimming.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
And Ajay, what about how was your experience like?
I think for me, it's a wonderful opportunity because I'm meeting people from different countries, one thing, and more than that, I think they bring a different perspective into thinking about things like their lives are different from in their home countries and how they go about doing things, and we get to learn a lot of things about them and how their life was. And more than that, it's you get to learn about food, all the food that they eat and all, and the different cuisines that they can try. So that, like for me, it encouraged me to go into Korean cuisine, like attempt eating Korean cuisine and all. It was quite new to me and it was nice. So it was a very good experience to know people from different nationalities, and I would say many of them who are coming from overseas, they have amazing artistic capabilities. So some of the artwork that they have done, maybe on their iPads or maybe even just if they're sketching in class, is very nice, and it was very it was amazing to see that they are capable in many different ways, not just of beat studies. And I'm happy to know people from a lot of different countries because of that. Yeah.
Norishka, what has been your experience? Like, what are the different perspectives you have gained from, say, meeting from different countries?
For me, so I predominantly spend the majority of my life in India. So when I came here, it was not very different. I still felt it was still very familiar. But yeah, as Ajay mentioned, the food, I really enjoyed. I made friends. He had Korean cuisine. I mean, I enjoyed that. I went with friends to have nasi lemak and then laksa and everything. So I really enjoyed I've enjoyed the culinary experience as well. And along with that, I feel. Oh, sorry. Along with that, I also feel that not only food, I think learning about everyone's culture and how they perceive life has it's really made me see things from a different perspective and from a whole new level. It's like when you're in your own country or in your comfort zone and you have a very you might have one track mind because everyone around you somehow thinks the same. But when you meet people from different cultures and you hear their stories and the way they have spend their childhood, it was a humbling experience for me, and I'm really grateful to have had a class and a cohort with such a diverse group of ethnicities and cultures.
Speaking of all the different interest groups and all, which interest groups have you been a part of?
Interest group, actually I almost entered all the interest groups. So yeah, I joined badminton clubs, and also I joined Angel Hearts Club, and also dance club. Yeah, so it's almost all the clubs I joined because I find it enjoying to work in organization and meet a lot of people from other countries. So yeah.
Were this say badminton, dance interest you had before, or can anyone join and enjoy it?
Actually, I think people can, even if they never try dance or badminton, they can join because there are seniors who can teach us in the clubs. Yeah.
Linkun, you had said you had tried basketball, right? So was it something you have played from before or something you picked up recently? Like, how long have you been playing basketball?
Maybe 2 hours or 3 hours.
Every day? Okay, weekly.
Yeah.
Because interest groups are also a part of student life and
Yeah.
Yeah.
we all want to take part in it. So in that way, Norishka, like you have been part of different, I'm sure you also been part of different interest groups.
Yeah.
So has it helped, like meet more people, improve your social circle?
I think for me, I like to talk to people and communicate, and I can go on for hours and hours. So for me, I think being a part of it, being a part of these groups was like a nice break from the, the sciences are like tough and tedious. You need to put in a lot of work. So sometimes it's like a good breather. And for me, I happen to also assist with life science, our own school's club. And for me, I think I was doing like writing articles and like doing like journal submissions and stuff. So for me, that really helped me, give me like a passage to let my creative juices flowing. So yeah, I think it was a good experience. I did meet a lot of people, and I met these guys also because of the student ambassador program. So yeah, you do meet like when it's difficult to socialize because your school and everything else takes up a lot of time, and then you don't really interact with, it's difficult to interact with people from other schools. So having these interest groups actually helps you meet people from, like from the arts or this the commerce sections that actually you can actually know what they are doing and gain some knowledge and perspective.
So in that way, interest groups are not simply about, say, meeting people or having fun. It's also about expressing yourself and improving
Yeah.
yourself. Would you agree with that, Ajay?
Yeah, I'm it's improving ourselves. What I can say is, especially our student ambassador program that we had. It's also some curricular activity that we're taking part in, and on top of that, I was also part of, before COVID, I was part of the football club, and yeah, we would train on Wednesdays, and we used to have games on Sundays, and it really helps you take your mind off what you're doing in school. The lectures are coming, they're going to teach you, and sometimes you get really sick and tired of it. And really, I would say I would encourage students to join interest groups, as that really helps you take your mind off everything for maybe a few hours, and that is really helpful and really useful for us. And in the process, as Norishka said, we get to interact with people from different schools that are part of MDIS, and that is like one of the best opportunities that we get to meet people from other backgrounds in terms of studies and in terms of different nationalities, and it's very useful.
Speaking of lectures, what would you say it was like? Was it very practical driven, or you had lots of chance to, you are in the life did you have like lots of chance to apply what you have learned?
It's very practical driven in the sense, since it's life sciences, they put a lot of emphasis on real life applications and how we can use the tools in biotechnology to make people's life better. And we regularly have lab sessions, and we are like, maybe we grow bacteria someday, or we do experiments with yeast or cancer cells. And being in as the honors program that we have something called a final year project. And because of a final year project, it's about 1 year where we are under a supervisor, and the supervisor really guides us. It's less spoon feeding and more guiding us on how to go about research and how to plan things. It can be from simple things as ordering chemicals and reagents to other things like where we might be going wrong. And in that way, the lecturers are really helpful and like they are very supportive. At the same time, they ensure that we learn something out of this project. It's not just another coursework that we have to finish like homework. Yeah.
So, Florence, what would you say was the difference you felt when coming from, say, school to a university? How did the teaching style, the learning, etc. change when you came here?
It's so much difference because in here I can try to use, because I am joining, I entering the media schools, and in here I can use camera, I can learn how the production, also it's, I can learn from, I can learn all of that stuff because of I joined media clubs also.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, and also the teachers like make sure the students are understand the lecture. Yeah.
And how much flexibility do you get while, say, planning what you learn, when you want to learn it?
I don't know, like
I mean, like, do you get to choose modules from not just your own school, but also say you're interested in something else? Can you pick that up also?
yeah, like if people people from other schools wants to try how to learn camera or all that, they also can join the media club. So yeah, it's like open for all the other schools.
Did you also pick up something else from other schools?
Yeah, I joined business club. Yeah. So yeah, I almost joined all the interest groups in MDIS because I find it like it's quite interesting to join organization and like meet all the people.
Talking about different interests, it reminds me of one thing. So when now students are looking and they was wanting to choose their course, so there's one thing about passion, like what you want to do, because that's what you're going to learn and do for the rest of your life, and it has to be something you like. At the same time, you also want to see the practical considerations. What are the opportunities that are available to them? So how do you balance these two things out? So Norishka?
So a little backstory. I actually did my education in a field that that I thought I was interested in, and I went on that path, and I realized that I wasn't really into it. And then I joined MDIS to get into biomedical sciences. So yes, it is a very tricky situation, because at one point in time you might think you like something, but when you go down that road, you might realize that it's not something that you're really passionate about. So I think it's very important, like from an early age, to start exploring yourself and exploring what your interests are, and growing in that way where you actually start to find something that you're passionate about. And yes, I think you can't just like something at first interest. You really need to be interested in something to go that mile and learn in depth, and and then make a career out of it. And like my colleague here who's in media, like she was passionate about like camera and like learning how production works and learning the behind the scenes science of it. So she took up that course and she's like happy in her choice. So yeah, you do really need to I think explore and learn about yourself before you make that choice.
Thank you very much, Norishka. I hope that helps everybody to make the decision better. And that will be all. And thank you everyone for helping us out and enlightening the people who are looking to make their choices.
Thank you.